Alright, we live now. So we're just checking to see. Let me see if you got it on your page. Because I tagged you in it.
No.
Alright, so it might, there you go. So you got accepted, I think. Alright, there you go. So now it's on.
How you know?
Well, it's on. It's people on there. Okay, Keisha's on there now. So it's people on there. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Legacy Life Prep Podcast. How y'all doing? Just letting the crowd come in a little bit before we get started. Get a few more people in here, then we gonna get started. Hi, Pooh.
Hi, y'all.
Now, y'all know both of us blind, so I'm just looking like, who's
all
that?
I see is teeth.
Look, who's that? Who's that? It's hot too. But anyway, we're gonna get started in like 2 minutes. It's left a little bit. Oh, let me tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, you gonna get hot.
I'm not playing with you. Hey, y'all. So there's people coming in.
Alright. Alright, so let's get started. Oh, hey. So, okay, this is episode 4, guys, of Legacy Life Prep Podcast. And today is funny because I'm trying to be serious, but I got my best friend over here today, so
y'all know what's up.
We some goofballs, so this gonna be a funny one. It's gonna be a funny one. So today on Legacy Life Prep Podcast, I got Danielle on here, and she asked me, "Can I bring my hookah on the podcast?" And guess what I told her? Yup. Because we keeping things real and transparent on here. So I said, go ahead. You can bring the hookah on there, girl. Go ahead and bring your hookah. Whatever it takes for you to mellow down, come on and bring it on the podcast.
Because I know she about to hit me with some hard stuff.
And I asked her, when I asked Danielle to come on the podcast, I said, I need you to talk about some things, and I need you to be transparent and real and give me the raw of some things that you've been through. And she said, okay, I'm going to do it. And it's been nagging at me for like a month to get her on here. So I finally got the courage to ask her, like, you want to get on the podcast and talk? And she said, yeah, so here we are. So a little bit about us. We've been best friends forever, over 20-something years. That's telling our age a little bit. So, like I said, this was going to be a little funny because I already know the backstory, but I want her to tell her side of the story. And Danielle also runs her own hookah business. Y'all see the hookah. So if anybody need hookahs, holla at Danielle. I told y'all this podcast will be highlighting black-owned businesses as well. And she just started the hookah business a few months back. I'm trying to get that off the ground for her because she don't promote like she should. But we're going to change that. We're going to change that. So normally I have some questions to ask. I got my paperwork written out. I said no.
She
just
going to
go
get it to
straight
me raw.
from the dome and raw. That's what we're going to do. So I wanted to start off with talking about her mom. Now, I want her to give her little backstory of her mother before she passed, because the way I want to do it, I'm going to go into the importance of everything once she finishes talking. So I want her to give a backstory of her relationship with her and her mother.
Well, me and my mama relationship, we was real close. My personality is straight from her. My rawness, my mouth, I'm real loud, outspoken, just like her. She was the life of the party. That's me. So, let me see. Our relationship was like this. Anything that she had to talk about, anything I had to talk about, I would let her know. And before she passed away, it was, she was keeping little stuff from me for her illness. And then when my mom, everybody know my mom passed away from breast cancer. Well, it started from breast cancer, then it went to the lung, and then it went to her brain. And before then, y'all wouldn't even think that my mother was ill because, like I said, she was still the life of the party. She was there from the beginning, and her best friend was there till the end of the party. Again, she had cancer, and I remember the cancer hit her real hard back in 2018 in March. She went in hospice. And then in April, she bounced right back. She bounced right back, like nothing happened. One day, she called me and told me she was ready to go home, but the day before that, like she was down bad in the bed. Like they was telling family come in, they was gonna make her comfortable, and they was just gonna let her go. That very next day, when I went to go to the hospital to see my mother, she wasn't in the bed. She was in the bathroom, fully dressed, walking. But the day before that, she couldn't even feel her legs, nothing. She was up walking. When I came there, she said, "Poop, I'm ready to go home." Okay, got her home and everything. Then the beginning of July of 2018, it hit her hard again. That moment she didn't bounce back. She wanted to stay home, but then I took her back. Her nurse told her that she had to go back into hospice on July, I believe it was like July 21st or something like that, 2018. And then
it was right after my birthday.
Yeah, so yeah, it was. And then August 6th came. I was with my mother for about 2 weeks straight, going from the hospital, straight from the hospital, going to work, coming from work to the hospital. And that one particular day, I still remember, August 5th, she told me to go home and get some rest. That day, I went home to get some rest, and at 2:11 a.m. on August 6th, she passed away.
Yeah, that's how it went. And when your mother was sick, how far along was she when you actually found out, when she actually told you she was sick?
She was stage 4.
Stage 4, right. Mm-hmm. So stage 1 through 4, you had no clue that she had cancer, but she knew, right?
She knew.
She knew, right. So I asked that because a lot of us have mothers and fathers that's older. For some reason, they try to keep things from us because they don't want to hurt us. They don't want to worry us. That's in their words. That's how they feel. Oh, I don't want to worry my child. I'm not going to do. My mother do the same thing at this age now. And what y'all fail to realize, it's not worrying us. It's not bothering us because maybe we could have did something to prevent it a little longer. We'll never know because, she's not here. But that's just how older people are. Knowing that older people are like that, I encourage everybody here that's still here, their mother and father, to check up on them, charge them, check on them, ask them, hey, how you feeling? Have you been to the doctors? What have the doctors been saying about whatever diagnosis you got going on?
Or go with them.
Or go. That's the better thing. She said it.
Go with them because they will share you. They will tell you what they want.
Listen, I hope Janice on this live because Janice be lying. And y'all know. Anybody
Janice be lying.
Janice be lying about them doctor's visits.
And she be talking about, oh yeah, I ate, I checked this, I checked that whole time. Janice be sitting there just on her phone or watching TV.
She will lie to you. I took my medicine, I ate, I went to the doctors. The doctors calling me saying she the canceled appointments and all that. So I encourage you to go with them sometimes because they lie. They don't want us in their business. The parents are lie. And not only that, before your mother passed, before it got to that, when you found out it was stage 4, how did that make you feel when you found out so late when she was stage 4?
I was on edge. I was on edge. Like I was. My mind just started racing. I didn't know who to tell, who to call. Of course, I called her. I called my favorite cousin Janell. Yeah, I called Janell. I put them on point with everything. I called my brother, everything. So everybody was just trying to come together. Sometimes we was bumping heads because we were so concerned, or I would get mad because she would share this information with somebody but wouldn't tell me. But she didn't want to bother me because I'm behind that wheel all day every day, so she ain't really want to tell me too much. So she'd go tell the family certain things, and then when something happened, Janell and them calling me saying come to the hospital, and I'm like, well, when did this happen, when did that happen? But again, that's because I wasn't really into, she didn't tell me like everything from the beginning. So it's just like when I started finding everything out, she would tell me sometimes, oh, I'm taking my medicine, and I go check her medicine, all the medicine is still there. So it was just like, you just gotta be more active in these doctor's appointments. But I was kind of upset I was kind of upset, and when my mother passed away, I felt a little guilt because I'm like, if I would have known, if I wasn't going to work all the time, going to these doctor's appointments, then maybe I would have been on top of her, taking her medicine on time, making sure she eating, knowing what she want to do. And then my mother was stuck in her ways. Sometimes she would want the nurse to do stuff. Sometimes she'd tell the nurse she ain't doing nothing. Yeah. Or she ain't taking her medicine, or however she felt that day. And then I really couldn't go against her because I'm like, I know she's gonna be gone, soon. So it's like, hey, whatever Janell wanted to do, right, that's what we gonna do.
Let them be comfortable.
If she don't want, when she gets to that point, if she don't want to do this, then guess what? Mind you don't gotta do it. And that's how I felt. So before she passed away, after she passed away, I felt a lot of guilt because I felt like I'm strong enough to make this lady take her medicine or make her, eat and do what she's supposed to do, and I wasn't.
Right. And being her best friend, I watched her go through that with her mother. I watched all that, all that transpire. So with me, my mother is still alive, but for those who don't know, my mother is on dialysis. My mother's kind of going through the same thing, just that she has a different illness, but she's kind of going through the same symptoms like deja vu. So when I called Danielle about what's going on with my mother, she like, you gotta let her be. You can't force her to do things. It's gonna be frustrating, but you gotta keep your sanity. She was encouraging me of what to do differently because when she went through it didn't, register right away to just let her be or let her do this. No, we want to take over because we want our parents to live longer. So naturally, we want to do better. I call my mother all the time. She don't take her medicine. She don't go to all of her appointments. She not doing what she supposed to. Just the other day, she got on my nerves because she went and got a procedure done without telling me. And I'm like, why you ain't tell her? She's like, I'm fine. I got that good enough today and all that.
That's their mind, but they need
that's their mindset. And like I said, I encourage anybody that have a parent, grandparent, an older person to be more in tune with that. But also, they get stuck in their ways. They want to do that stuff themselves. Still let them keep that independence. I'm not saying take away their independence, but still be on top of things because then you might be able to prevent some stuff.
Right.
Because with Janell, when I found out that she had stage 4 cancer, I was shocked. Like, well, what happened? Like, how did we get to this point? But again, our parents don't tell us everything. Once your parents get over 55, 60. We on our way up there. Hold on. I hate to think about it. Like, wait a minute. Listen. But I mean, naturally, sometimes for black people, once we get up to 60, that's the time we need to start checking more things out. We really should start checking early, but we don't. But once you got parents that's over 60, you really should be checking them what's going on with their prostate, their breast, everything, breast cancer, everything.
And when y'all go to these doctor's appointments with them, y'all gotta ask questions.
Ask questions, yeah.
Like,
ask
y'all
questions.
have to really get the knowledge yourself.
Yeah. Because
my mother ain't tell me nothing. Like, she would tell me here and there, oh, the doctor was saying this, or the doctor was acting like this, acting mean. So now I'm on defense. Coming up this hospital, fussing at these people, and the whole time my mother just not telling me everything. Mind you was being mean to them first, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
That's why I say it's funny to me because it's Janell all over again with my mother. That's why I say I hope she get on this live or she watch it later because she know this is her all over again. She didn't tell us, oh, these people in this hospital, I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go.
Used to call me frustrated, and I'm just like, Kalada, let her be. The only thing you can do is check behind her. But do not lose your sanity and don't fuss at her nothing because when she go, you gonna feel this guilt.
She told me that.
You just gotta let her be and just check behind her.
Check behind her, right.
That's the only thing you can do.
Right. So with me being who I am, when right before Janell passed, I had actually this was like a year before Janell. This was around the time I got sick in 2017, I believe, before Janell passed, and I had asked Danielle about Janell having life insurance. So Janell told her, now listen to this. This is the part of when we got checked behind our parents. I remember this clearly. Janell told Danielle, I have a policy. It's in my paperwork. It's in my stuff. I got my policy. So every time Danielle would ask her about it, she would kind of brush it off and say, I got it in my paperwork, right? We found out the hard way that she didn't have it.
When she passed away, guess what? I'm flipping through that paperwork.
Yeah.
She had a policy.
No, matter of fact, It's when she got sick, when you went to go look and you called me and said, can you get my mother covered? Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
But before that, one time I was looking through the paperwork. I found a policy. It was through what's that commercial?
Which one? Colonial
Penn. She told me she had Colonial Penn. So I'm looking through the paperwork. I said Colonial Penn. I get the call and they're like, she not covered through us. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I went to Kalila like, can you get my mother covered? And at that point, it was too late.
It was too late. And at that time, I was still working with Primerica. You know, with Primerica, you gotta have that A1 health. They don't play that. So it was too late. At that time, I couldn't get her covered because she had got so sick. And this was right before she got sick. This was when she was sick. We knew she was sick, but she wasn't that far off. So we was thinking, well, maybe we can help her. We can save her a little bit, you know. And at the time, I wasn't writing those type of policies where I could have put her in a policy to let her know, listen, if she outlived this policy for 2 years, you good to go. I wasn't writing for myself yet. I was still under Primerica. So when she started getting sickly, Danielle was calling me like, I can't find a policy. I don't know what I'm gonna do if she pays. So what? Me being encouraged, I'm like, Janelle ain't going away. You know, Janelle will be fine. Like she said in April, she went to the hospital.
She was in hospice.
She was in hospice. I remember this, and I was like,
hospice for a week.
This is not my real mother, but it's still like a mother to me. So I was like going through it with her, like, dang, I can't lose Janelle, can't lose her. Then she gonna come up top. I said, I'm ready.
Yeah. Baby was ready. His mama had her little Nikes on. She was ready.
She was ready to leave. So we didn't think months down the line that we was going to be back at that place of, okay, she might, be on the verge of passing. Nobody was thinking like that because when she first went to hospice the first time, it was a clear cut. It was just, all right, I'm good to go. So I want to fast forward to when she passed. How did that affect you emotionally when she passed away?
It affected me emotionally, physically, because my body was so shut down. Financially, it drained me. We had like a candlelight for her, and during that candlelight, I remember my dad brought a big tote outside, and during the candlelight, everybody saying what they saying, and we doing. I had to pass the tote around to get money for my mother.
And how did the pause on that part, how did that make you feel in that part?
It made me feel like this small because I'm like, yo, I got a good job, paying good money. My mother was getting good money every month. So I'm like, we could have been sitting here paying $19, $20 a month for her to be covered. But
and your brothers, all y'all had good jobs and stuff.
Everybody, we just wasn't thinking, and so mentally I was gone. Like, I had to put my pride aside. I had to ask people for money. I was sending people messages. I was sending DMs, emails, everything. I was reaching out to people I haven't even talked to for like 4 or 5 years that I know that have put up a large amount of money. So I had to put that pride aside. I had to empty out my account. Had to, I was, going to a church at the moment. I asked the people at the church to help. So it was just like
a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot for me, and then it was a lot for me to deal with.
Right. Now I know emotionally it was real tough emotionally because I actually watched you go through it for years. Because it wasn't just at the moment you lose your parent, and I've never lost a parent, but I watched it through my best friend. I watched her change emotionally with losing her mother. I came to her and said, "You're not being yourself. You gotta get up. You gotta get out of this." But she had to get herself out of that mental state. But it's a hard battle when you're losing somebody, and I know it's a hard battle when you're losing like your best friend, because her mother was like her best friend outside of me, y'all. That was her best friend.
I wasn't far behind.
That was her best friend. So emotionally, you already was jacked up, right? So I'm just painting this picture. You already was jacked up. Mentally, you was just going through.
I didn't really have
being an only child. Although she do have brothers and stuff, that's still she's the only one. That's her only biological daughter is Danielle. So it still hit different for her because their closeness or whatever. And then you're going through it mentally. She didn't have no insurance, so you already feel jacked up that you got to reach out to people that you ain't talked to in a long time. And I'm painting a picture for those out there to see how the snowball effect happens when you don't have insurance because, like, well, she didn't know. So let's start with that. She didn't even know her mother wasn't covered anymore. So with the older people, I will encourage y'all, if you got older people in your family, to check behind their policies to make sure that they're still good. So for those of you that know your parents might not be covered or yourself might not be covered, these are the things that happen that I've seen before I became an agent in families where it's just, it happens so quickly. You like, now I got to plan the funeral. Now I got to get my emotion together. I'm an emotional wreck, but I still got to do this because I'm her child. Her grandkids need me. I got to be here for my children. All of that stuff. And then financially, the financial impact of having to bury her, how did that affect you?
A lot. I didn't even really get a chance to grieve because I didn't get a chance to grieve my mother probably like a year after she passed away. I was actually able to really like grieve and go through the emotions because at the same time, the day that she passed away, it's like it just hit me. I had to plan the funeral. I had to get her clothes together. I had to arrange like flowers and who I'm gonna go to, you know, who are cheaper and who gonna take care of her because I know the money gonna be flowing a little slow. Like if she had a policy, you know, funeral homes be like, all right, we're gonna do this, do that, do that, do this. But if they don't got their money, they gonna move, they gonna walk slow. You know what I'm saying? So I was just so worried about my mother getting taken care of, but she was, you know, she was greatly taken care of. My mom looked good. Even down to the last day. The last day was the day of her viewing. We were still short, like $800 and something. I don't know till this day. I do not know who paid that balance.
Whoever did, we thank you.
Yes, because the funeral, the director, he came to me and he pulled me aside and was like, everything is paid off. I didn't even ask who paid it. I didn't ask nothing. I just was like, okay. So that was a little burden off my shoulder, and I'm just like, I don't know where it came from.
Right. Now, with going back to the financial part, she said, I remember when Denny came outside and told she had to pass the token around for people to put money in, whatever they can donate. Tell me, when you had to reach out to people that you didn't know, or family or friends, tell me that impact. I mean, were you giving a lot of excuses, or were people just handing you money? Were people like, oh, I got this to deal with, I got this to deal with, or did you get a lot of?
I mean, I got a few responses saying, you know, they couldn't really do too much. You know, it was my mother, so I just went on and just kept reaching out. It was a lot of people that were saying like they couldn't help and everything. So like my pride and everything was just shutting down. And then the following day, I just started sending more messages out. I was sending group messages. I was sending over like 50, 60 messages a day. And I was telling people, you know, you don't have to give me the money. Take it there. I was like, I gave out the address. I was like, just take it to the funeral home. Some people, you know, did send money. You know, so it that mess hurt. Like it hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it I just had to set my pride aside.
Right.
You know, I just had to set my pride aside, and I got it done.
Now, I always ask this question when it comes to family and friends, because I see this a lot. The bickering when someone passed away because they didn't have insurance. Did any of your family or friends, and you don't have to say their names, was there any confrontation because they felt like, oh, so-and-so not doing their part, or so-and-so not doing their part?
No, it was probably like before my mama passed away. I think a lot of emotions was coming. But once she did pass away, and, you know, I made that phone call, and when I tell you within like 10 or 15 minutes, it was like over 50 people at the hospital. Everybody just came together. Yeah, everybody. I remember people telling me, I ain't gonna say her name, she knows who she is. She gave up her whole rent money She was going back and forth between her and her daughter father. Her daughter father had some stuff going on, but she put all of it up. You know what I'm saying? Even down to the balloon release. She was mad because she ain't really had no money for the balloons, but she pulled that out of her ASS and she came through. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't had no bickering. Nobody ain't feel no type of way because everybody that really played a big part in her life, I put them in, and I put them in that obituary, and we got it together.
Okay, awesome. And I remember you saying that she looked good. She did.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
And then I ain't dress her up in no dress.
No, because Janelle would have been haunting both of us.
Mm-hmm. She wore nothing but Nike and Adidas, and she had a nice Adidas outfit on. So yeah, she looked real good.
She looked nice. Yes,
I know she probably was mad because she had both of her breasts removed. But when we went to the viewing, the funeral home had breasts on her. Yeah, I was like, that's not even her. But yeah, she had boobies. That's the only thing that was wrong. She had boobies that she did not want. But other than that, my mother looked good.
She looked good. Right,
and she went to Walker's Memorial Funeral Home on Patastico
For those who might need some, because look, it's good to plan ahead. Don't get it twisted. Don't wait till you're gone to say, I'm going to plan. I tell people, have your will, get your life insurance, then get you a will. Us being young, we still need a will. 10 years from now, we might be changing that will, but so what? We're starting somewhere, Get your will, and that way you can be laid out however way you want to be. And it can't be no fussing in the family. My mother said she want to wear this. She want this person, if this person's still alive, she want this person to do it, however they want to do it, or they want to get sent home. If they from another state, however your family want to do it, that's the best way to do it. Now, also, Janelle was cremated. How did you feel about her being cremated?
Well, that's what she wanted.
She wanted it, right?
She wanted to be cremated, and she wanted to be set on top of her husband.
Kenny, right.
Her husband, Kenny. So, that's what I did. She got cremated, which it kind of made it a little easier. I had a traditional funeral. Just after the funeral, we didn't go to no burial. She got cremated after the funeral, and I was a little stingy with her. I kept her for like a year.
She did.
I kept her for like a year, and then I was like, yeah, you can go with your husband now. So, for Mother's Day in 2020.
Yeah.
For Mother's Day in 2020. Or was
we had
it
to get together.
Oh yeah, 2020 in May.
2020.
Yeah, because I had Ava August of 2019. Yeah, so it was 2020.
Ava was definitely here walking on my
neck. So I kept her for over a year, and for Mother's Day, I gave her what she wanted. She wanted to lay on top of her husband for Mother's Day, and I arranged a memorial. We went to Drew Ridge Cemetery for Mother's Day, and I set her on top of her husband.
Right. Now, me knowing you personally, I know the grieving process that you went through was a long time, because it's now 2022, and you just coming into... You know it wasn't your fault. You knew she had to go. You know that she want more for you. We've talked about dreams that I've had with Janelle reaching out to me, telling you things, let this go, let that go. And she'd be like, well, how do you know that? I'm like, because Janelle, I said, she comes to my dream, I'm just going to be obedient and tell you what I don't know what you
And it's crazy because I've never spoken.
She never speak about
it. I never speak about it. Like, never. I never spoke nothing about my mother or things that I was thinking about to do for my mother. And here she come. Oh, I had a dream. You need to let your mother go. And I'm like, I'm going to let her go. I already got the date and this and the third, and she was like, well, she said she want to go with her husband and this and the third. All right, fine, and I want to go with her husband. So it was just like,
I was coming to her a few times like, your mother said,
yeah,
listen, this is what the dream, I be coming to her like, this is what the dream was about. I don't know what this means. Because one time I had a dream about her and Joey fishing, and I forgot what you told me. You said, I just talked to Joey, the day before that or
about
something like that. Yeah, I said, look, I had a dream that Joey and your mother was crabbing and stuff. So what's this about? Yeah. I don't know what's about, but I need to tell you what's going on. And that's what she was like, oh my goodness, I just talked to Joey. So, Janelle is still amongst us. Y'all forget the dead still be with us. They just not here in the land of living. So with that being said, with the grieving process, do you feel like if we would have took the proper steps, if you didn't know that she didn't have life insurance, and you went and got it, and you would have had a nice size policy for her, that the grieving process would have been a little bit more easier, because then you wouldn't have to go straight back to work, or you wouldn't have to do this and that.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a lot easier. I would have been able to grieve because I wouldn't have to constantly keep moving on the go, and you know.
I'm looking at my phone at y'all, what y'all saying. I'm not being rude, y'all.
Yeah, so I think it would have been a lot easier, you know, just being worried if every single day for almost 2 weeks I was on the go for about 7-8 hours a day, worrying, getting a little bit things that I can get done with the few money that I had. So I think if I would have known from the jump that she didn't have insurance, I would have got her insurance, and it just would have been a lot easier.
But then, from the insurance point of view, and from her best friend, and from having parents, and from having family members that died without insurance, and friends, it's first of all, having to bury somebody you love is already that mental is devastating. Then have to come up with the finances to bury them. Then you gotta live without them. So you gotta think, oh, now I gotta go back to work. Now I gotta still be here for my kids. I gotta take care of whatever she left behind.
2 days after her funeral, I had to go right back to work.
She had to go back to work. And
so I never got a chance
to really grieve. And this is why, when I was saying this is gonna be a snowball effect, why having insurance is important. And for us to have older parents, please check to see if your parents have policies, because they'll tell you, I got insurance, and they probably don't. My mother, Janice, if you watching, or if you watch later, she told me she had a policy. So, we found out she didn't. I found out she didn't when I was had some stuff in her house, in her closet, and she didn't have it. So me, my sister Shay, my brother Meme, we decided to get a policy for her together, and we paid for it together. Listen, that too, it's nothing wrong with getting your family members together. If you say, because my mother's about to be 73, well, she's a little older now, the insurance going to be a little bit more than what we would pay. So call your cousin, your brother, your sister, your mother, father, whoever.
Set that part aside.
Look, Granny needs some insurance. Can we come together and pay this $75 a month, $80 a month, please? If you don't think you can do it by yourself, because I get it. Everybody got bills. Everybody got children, businesses. Everybody got their own thing going on. But having that family sit-down discussion to come together to discuss life insurance, it's a necessity. And I feel like I'm going to just go ahead and say in our community, because that's who I do this for. This podcast is for us, because we're the ones that don't know a lot about insurance, don't know the importance of it. I can take everything I know now to certain neighborhoods, white folks and Jewish and all that, and they can show me their policies. Their babies are covered at 7 weeks, at 7 days old. No, they don't have that issue of, let me pay my cable bill first. No, I want to go to Miami this weekend, so I'm gonna hit you back later. Oh, they already know. Oh, this is important. I'm gonna get it. Also, a lot of people don't understand when you have a whole life policy. A lot of celebrities that even tell you that's how they got rich. They get a whole life policy, they borrow from it, they build their business from that policy, and they keep it moving. Because guess what? Now they rich, and they can just throw that money back in there. Now they got that policy lingering forever. Yep. But they also can keep going back and borrow from it. Because a lot of people, a lot of agents will say, whole life is not the way to go. I disagree. I think it depends on the person. Term, whole life, it all depends on what you're trying to do with that policy. Because whole life do have living benefits. We went through COVID. We're still going through COVID. It's so many people that got put out and all that through COVID. Look, guess what? Some of them people that had a whole life policy could borrow from that and say, oh, I got the money to pay my rent. Let me borrow a couple $1,000s for my policy. You can do that when you have it for a certain amount of time. You can do that with your policy. So people understanding the importance of life insurance in the black community, look, we got to get it together, because time is not on our side.
And buy these Gucci and this Louis. Y'all can split out this $20 a month. I'm telling y'all, save y'all a good headache.
Yes, Maisha said a lot of older people believe their old policies are still active. That's why I'm telling y'all, anybody that's watching this live, if you have a parent or grandparent, uncle, whoever, somebody that's over 60, just call them up and say, hey, did you have life insurance? When the last time you checked your policy? Because sometimes they believe, I've been paying that policy for 30-something years and that company not even around anymore. So they really do, some of them really do believe, okay, I got a policy. I don't know what you're talking about. I still got my policy. I'm still good to go. But they're not. So I encourage anybody that has some older people in their family to do it. Now, the young people, look, we ain't got no excuse. And y'all know we like to party. We travel, we party, we do stuff for our kids. We be out here, look, she got the hookah, you know.
I can't go nowhere without it. Nowhere.
We be doing our thing. Stop treating insurance like it's a bill and treat it like it's an investment. Because guess what? I'm going to break it down for y'all. Your cable bill can't pay you back. Your phone bill ain't paying you back.
Get them.
You know, paying for your watches and stuff that you got on ain't paying you back.
Get them.
PGE.
Get them.
I hate them. Fight in the air. PGE ain't paying you back. The water company not paying you back.
Get them.
Gas, electric, all these bills we have, they not paying your family back. But guess what? When you get life insurance, that will pay your family back. Even if it's a living benefit while you're alive and you need a little bit of help, you need to go borrow a little bit of money, you're good to go. Or if when you pass, your kid's good. You know, I want Jada and Janell to be fine. And I'm going to teach them everything I know about insurance. I'm going to teach them about investment because I don't want them to be blowing their money either. I hope they listen to me upstairs. Look, we don't want our kids to blow the money either. We don't want them to just blow. So you got to teach them a little thing too when they get in these policies. But we want to leave our kids a legacy. We don't want to say, we young, but Lord forbid me and her go outside today and get in a car accident. We want to be like, oh, Mackenzie, Aubrey, Ava, Jada, Janaya, y'all good. You know, split this money out, do what y'all need to do, have somebody older help y'all, whatever y'all need to do, because they're not 18 yet. You know, my mom told y'all to make sure y'all person is over 18, do what they need to do, but make sure they straight when they turn 18 and they'll be good and covered. Because guess what? Sometimes our kids go before we did. Yep. It might come in time, we might be 60, 70, and somebody might call us to say, oh, Ava and Jada was in a car accident, or they was on a plane. You know, Kobe. You know, you don't know. We all know when we was born. She was born in October. I was born in July the 17th. Y'all know when y'all was born, right? But how many of y'all know when y'all gonna die? Nobody. Y'all don't know when y'all gonna die. We take life for granted. Nobody knows when they're gonna die. We all have a date to die, but nobody knows that date. So because nobody knows that date, from the time a child is 7 days, because that's the time they can get covered, that baby should be covered. That adult should be covered. That child, that grandma. We should not wait. And I can't say this no clearer because I have lupus. Don't wait till you get sick like me to get life insurance because it's going to be hard. It's going to be expensive.
Start looking into it now.
Start while you're young and healthy. Anybody on here that have kids that's 18, get them some policies. It's going to be, you get them $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 policies under $30 a month. Like, come on now. Like, we gotta school each other. We gotta help each other out, get these finances together, get these investments together, get these real estate, all of that together. Because I don't know about y'all, I'm tired of the cycle, the black community cycle.
Living from paycheck to paycheck.
The paycheck to paycheck. My mother ain't know nothing. I don't know nothing. My grandmother ain't teach me nothing, and I'm not blaming them. Cycles. I'm not blaming them because they did what they know they knew. So if you're learning something different, you should be doing something different. I'm not blaming our parents. Trust me, this is not a bash against our parents or our grandparents or our aunties and uncles.
We just here to teach y'all and let y'all know.
They didn't know no better. Because I'm pretty sure my mother and father ain't know 2 cents about no life insurance. Like, they didn't really know too much about it back then. You know, so it's up to us. It's up to us to start teaching our kids. It's up to us to start teaching our relatives. Have family gatherings. I keep telling y'all that. I just did my a family gathering, and I ain't do one in a long time, in years. Last week with Keisha and her family, I did a quote for every adult in that room with their children, and I'm going back to do their policies one by one. I encourage y'all, even if it's not with me, to have a family session. Get your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your mother and fathers, and say, hey, let's have a get together and see who have insurance, who don't. Let's see who might need help with the money. It's okay. Look, your cousin will call you, they want some liquor.
Yep.
Look, you got some liquor, you got some Hennessy.
You No, I didn't.
You got some Hennessy? Oh, cousin, I'm doing bad. Let me borrow some money. I'm trying to go to this party. Call that same cousin up and say, I don't have no money for my life insurance. I don't want it to lapse. Can I borrow $25 next month? Do the same thing. It's the same thing. Put that pride aside. Because that pride is going to kill you. And you're going to die without no insurance. And we're going to be repeating that same cycle. Over and over and over and over and over again. That cycle stops with us. I don't know about for y'all, but we're not trying to repeat them cycles. We're not trying to repeat it psychologically or financially. Listen, I told Janell earlier, girl, you're not hurry up to get rich. I'm trying to be, and paying the ball and stuff with my feet up. Like, Janell, bring the jets.
Not bring the jets. Now you're doing too much. Not that one, though.
Bring the jets. We're going to another island in 2 hours. So guess what? If I want that for my children, I got to teach them something different because I didn't know about life insurance. I didn't know about investing your money. I was told to go to school, go to college, get good grades. I didn't know about not saving your money in a savings account and putting it in an investment account. I didn't know none of that stuff. I'm just learning all this. So I'm teaching them. My daughter came up to me and told me, oh, I want to invest $25 of my own money every month into my investment that I had for her. I said, okay, I ain't force her. I ain't going to her and say, put your own money into it. Yep. She came to me. That means I'm doing something right. That means they're watching me, that they're listening to me, that they see what I'm doing different, and they want to be like mommy. So guess what? Now I got to keep the grind going, because when they hit 18, you best believe they're gonna be writing some policies. I'm going to show them. Because they already
getting on your nerves.
Look, I'm going to have them tell all their friends, like, I'm an agent now. Come on, get the policy. I'm going to have them tell all their friends, because they already know how to write.
There's nothing wrong with that, and they know how to talk.
Yes. So, yeah, we got to get this together in the black community. We got to stop the craziness in Baltimore City. And everybody on this line probably is from Baltimore. That alone, why you don't have insurance? We live in Baltimore City. Like, you walk up on somebody, they mad at you because you looked at them the wrong way, and bam, they dropping you. You gone. I just lost my cousin a couple of months ago. Listen, I was not expecting to get no phone call that my cousin was gone. You just never know. You never know what's going to happen. And that was devastating to me. As many cousins that I've lost, that one hit different because it was like, dang, why him? Like, what you mean? What's going on? Like, you don't expect it. We don't know our death date. We don't know. So, like I said, I encourage you all to get insurance. And let me see if anybody said anything. Oh, that's right. I said, yeah, that's the hard reality, is that those policies are either gone or a lot lower than they're expecting. Yep. Yeah, those policies be gone or lower. Yeah, because
there's a lot of older people still got like that Gerber insurance, and
she said, I ain't said y'all.
They did. And I know somebody that still have one, and she's still stuck in her ways. She like, no, that's fine. I had it on my son for a long time, and this, that, and third. Listen, I'm not gonna knock no companies, but certain companies. I said this on the last podcast. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, because I don't want to knock no companies, because I can write for these companies if I wanted to. I choose not to for this reason. I'm remember the company she said earlier, right? About her mother had. Okay, that's one of them. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put it to you like this: life insurance is like kind of like the fast food business. The ones you always see advertised on TV ain't always the best one to get. That's all I'm gonna say, especially for these little kids, because you don't know how many people came to me and said, I got so and so policy for my daughter. They said that they can go to college with this and all this other stuff. And I be looking like, nah. Please go get me, baby, hand me that policy. Let me show you something. People just not aware because they see it on TV. They say, oh, that's the best way to go. I'm going to get this. Same thing how we do celebrities. Oh, this person rocking this, so I'm going to go get that because that's what we see. No, it's not always the good thing to do, but life insurance, no. It's a lot of companies. And on TV, all these little $9.99 a month companies that y'all see on TV. No, it's
$9.99 a month. And no questions asked.
It takes the 99 cent for me. It's the 99 cent for me.
Yes, it is true.
My mother said she had, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't 99 cents. It was like 70 5 cents or something like that. No.
Yeah, that's just a gimmick to get you, because the gimmick is, yes, they might say, oh, this you could get a policy for $9.99, but that policy might be $1,000. Who is burying somebody with $1,000? Who's getting buried with $1,000? Not in Baltimore City.
Nope.
Not in down south, up south, north, east, west. Who getting buried for $1,000? So that's where they get you at. Or they put the little cute kids on the commercials and say, oh, this is the best policy, my baby so-and-so. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know how Blake folks do. You read between the lines. Y'all know what
that's
I'm talking about.
another thing I was also blessed with having for as my mother. When her husband passed away, we had plots already at the cemetery. We still have like 3 more plots available at the cemetery, which is under my name now. But because the opening and closing of a cemetery is like $5,000, just for them to dig up that dirt and for them to put the dirt over top of that casket, it's $5,000 alone. That's not including your tombstone. That's not including the engraving in your tombstone. None of that. That was just the opening and closing. So when I wanted to put my mother on top of her husband, that was free, because he already had those plots for us. So when he passed away, those plots went to my mother. When my mother passed away, it took a whole lot for it to get into my name, but I was able to get into my name, and that part was free. So that's another thing. Even though y'all had these policies and everything, you still got to pay that closing and opening of that grave.
So keep that in mind if you're able to get a regular policy and not just a burial policy, because unfortunately some people wait too late. They only can get a burial policy, which means they can only get up to a certain amount just to bury them and make sure that they bury comfortably. If you're able to get a policy that's not just a burial policy and have a regular policy, get more than just the burial, because you're going to want to grieve. And if you got to take time off of work and they say, oh, you don't have no PTO, you can't take no time. Okay, well, I'll be back in a month or so. You need to go see a therapist and tell them to write you a slip to say she needs to be out for a month. But you got that cushion of money sitting right there. Use it. Because that mental going back to work straight after a death is not.
And then with my bills being behind, because I had to clear out my account, everything. I had to, pay some people back. I had to go to work my butt off. So
and she drove a bus because y'all lucky she didn't kill somebody.
Because my mom was gone, like gone. So just get the policy and everything, because that grieving part, I could not grieve for like a whole year. So I'm putting on this mask, joking and playing. Y'all know I joke and play. I'm very childish, but no, behind closed doors, I was drained. I was crying almost every day for like a year, because I had to work, I had to pay people back, I had to work overtime behind that wheel at the end of the line. Sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm crying. I had to put them shades on, I had to move it, push it like nothing was wrong.
Yep.
But if my mom had that life insurance, I could have went out, leave an absence, I could have been chilling, I could have just, grieving, but I couldn't.
And investing some of the money, because Shamari just asked, how can we borrow money from our policy to invest? That's a good question. So if you have a universal policy, which works like a whole life, which is a whole life, or a whole life policy, you can borrow from that. The only thing with borrowing from that is you got to pay it back, but you borrowing from it. But there comes a time where somebody could be flat broke. You talking about paying $30 a month for a whole life policy, and they might say, oh, I got my own clothing business. I don't know how to get it started. I don't have no money. You can go to that policy, borrow that money, and get your business started. You just got to put that money back. Now, the time frame, you got to put it back, it depends. Some people pass without never putting it back. So let me tell y'all, if you pass without putting that money you borrowed back, they going to take it out your policy. So that's how that works. So you can borrow from it and start your investment, start a business, or anything you want to. It's so many celebrities that talk about this on YouTube and stuff, about how they got rich off of borrowing from their policies. It's ridiculous. Like, I just posted one on my page like a week ago. Y'all go back on my page. I just posted one from a celebrity a week ago, because it's different celebrities talking about how they borrowed from that money. Master P, everybody on here should know who Master P is. Master P grandfather left him a $10,000 life insurance. Listen to me. We talk about back in the day, because Master P is older than us, so he probably like 50 now. So his grandfather, listen to this, he only left him $10,000, and this came out of his mouth. This came out of the paperwork that he had. $10,000. That's it. That's not nothing. He built that empire off that $10,000. He buried his grandfather and took the rest and invested his money. That's what he did with $10,000. Do y'all hear me? $10,000 is nothing. He did that with $10,000. You can use your policy as your own personal bank. Yes, exactly, Shamar. You're using it as your own personal bank. The rich say it all the time. Why put your money in a savings account when your insurance policy can be your own personal bank? You know, a lot of rich people that have money, they get large amount of policies. Like they get millions of dollars and they borrow from that. They let it build up for a couple of years. Oh, I got a $30 million. I'm gonna go borrow from that. And I'm going to go do what I need to do with it because I know I can put that money right back. Especially if you have a universal policy, which I'll talk about.
Y'all got worried about somebody running your credit either. Y'all
exactly.
Y'all going to get it.
Yeah, and if y'all do need somebody to run your credit, Shamari on here, he can help y'all out. Y'all know I got to shout out my Blake businesses. He can help y'all out with the credit.
That's why I said it. He don't like nobody running that credit.
So yeah, like people don't understand. Life insurance got so many benefits outside of just, oh, I died, now bury me. No, it's way more than that. It's bigger than that. Like she said, the mental state. She could have took some of that money and he laughing. She could have took some of that money and had that cushion to say, I just need to grieve. Give me a month or two. Just let me grieve. Let me take my baby somewhere where it's just the water, serenity, that me and my kids could just be over here. Let them do virtual. Let them there. Let us just go chill. But she didn't have that cushion. You know, having that cushion, being able to pay your bills afterwards, being able to pay whatever that person had when they died, being able to invest that money. Because when they have a nice amount of policy, you can bury them, you can pay the bills, you can pay off the debts, and you can start investing your money. That investment part, that's the part that y'all got getting to. Invest your money. Don't just have the kids or whoever have the policy just be like, oh, they got the policy and that's it. No. Is that Ruby Roo that you put on? You talk about your lipstick.
Leave my lipstick alone.
She said, leave my lipstick alone.
And yes, it is Ruby Woo.
It is. Mm-hmm. You know, that's our favorite. So yeah, like y'all gotta get into the investment part of these policies. So I am gonna do another podcast specifically talking about how you can build from whole life and universal like policies, because I had somebody actually, I'm not gonna say their name, I'm not sure if they're on Facebook, but they on Instagram. Somebody contacted me and they was in a bind and they was just like, I remember you telling me about a policy that you can borrow from. I need a policy I can borrow from in 30 days. No. Let me tell y'all now, you cannot get a whole life policy and borrow from that policy in 30 days. That's a negative. I don't care what company it is. You cannot get a policy and borrow from it in 30 days. You got to build up that trust with the company. So you got to have that policy for a couple of years before you can say, oh, I want to borrow $50,000 from this policy. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like today I'm going to get a $500,000 policy. 20 days later, I'm going to borrow from it. No. Because guess what? Life insurance company is a business just like anything else. They got to make that money. You think they're going to make money if they just let people, here, $1 million for you, $1 million for you. Yeah, go ahead and borrow from it. And then they die in the month and then now it's not paid back. Y'all crazy. Y'all really think that they're going to let y'all do that? Heck no. No. You got to have that policy for a while before you can borrow from it. So remember that. So it's good to start now wherever you're at. If you're thinking about getting a whole life policy, start that policy now. Don't wait. Waiting don't hurt nobody but yourself. That's another thing. When you wait to get insurance, you're going to get older. You might get sick. You might get an illness. Felonies. Let's talk about that. Felonies and DUIs. Lord have mercy. Listen, I'm going to just keep it 100. They don't want us. Just when I say us, y'all know who I'm talking about, to get it. They put these questions on there for a reason. There's a felony question on 90% of life insurance applications. They want to know if you was a felon. They want to know if you have more than 10 DUIs because you're going to have to wait to get insurance. If you do, you have it back to back because they consider you high risk. They want to know about diabetes. They want to know about high blood pressure. What else? Things like that. That normally, who has that? Who has these type of problems? Us. So what y'all think? They really don't care for us to have it. So that comes into play now. If you have a felony, you can get a policy, but you can only get a certain type until
or a certain amount.
Or a certain amount until it's cleared. And when it's cleared, sometimes they go by the parole date, or if you're still on parole, they go by the date that it ends. It's crazy. It's a mess. I do not agree with that part of life insurance. Let me tell y'all, I hate that part because I feel like people change. You shouldn't be chastising somebody for something they did 4 years ago. But that's just me. But because that's implemented in there, y'all gotta know how to work the system. Because it's just, life insurance is a system. It's a game. It's a system. You know you got a felony. You know you can only get a certain amount. Get that policy today. In a couple of years, get a better policy. It's just that plain and simple. You know you're an alcoholic and you got 5 DUIs and they took your license 12 times. Okay, get that policy that you can get. And when you're working on yourself, getting better, get the other policy. It's just that plain and simple. And unfortunately, some people are born with HIV and stuff like that. You can't do nothing about it, right? But you can get a certain policy, because I've had people say, oh, if you got certain illnesses, you can't get covered. Oh, no, baby, me, Carlotta Miller, can get anybody covered. I can get I can get you covered. Yes. It's just the amount of coverage may be different than the average person. But if you got HIV, if you got lupus, sickle cell, things that people come to me, they like, I've been trying for years to get covered.
What about the major one, cancer?
Cancer. I can get people with cancer covered. They just can qualify for a certain policy. And if you had cancer and it's been cleared for a certain amount of years, you actually can get a regular policy. Depends on the stipulations of the cancer. So,
somebody said something.
Showing people how to live good off of an insurance policy is a selling point to infinite banking. Yep, sure is. It sure is. I'm sorry, y'all. My nose.
Is it the
but,
hookah? Is it the hookah?
Is it the hookah? This rich over here with the hookah. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm getting the sniffles in here. I ain't crying. I'm getting the sniffles in here. The policy is your bank, yeah. If you use it right, it is. You gotta use it right. I'm trying to tell y'all.
And talk about not letting it lapse too.
Oh yeah. See, she need to just come join the team, y'all. You know, she need to just come sign insurance so she can just drive the bus part time.
No. I'm not talking to him because once they say no, I'm on to the next.
She gonna be like this.
Not this one. Deuces. You say no, deuces. These other people, we gonna get it.
So not letting your policy lapse. Okay, that's a very important one. Thank you for bringing that up. This one is crazy because when you let your policy lapse, so much stuff can go wrong. You let your policy lapse too many times. These companies go be like, we don't want to insure her. She let her policy lapse 5 times. We don't want to deal with her. And guess what? It's not gonna be one company. They're gonna look and say, oh, she was with Mutual 12 times. We ain't covering her. Then the next company gonna say, oh yeah, she tried with Foster's. We don't want her. And they gonna say, oh yeah, we seen she tried with so and so. We don't want to do her. They're letting your policy last, especially when you letting it last back to back to back. That's a no-no. They're going to look at you as a high risk, and they can say, we don't want to cover this person. We don't want to use that. What else can happen? An illness. People get sick. If you have a certain coverage, say for instance, you have $1 million policy, and stuff get hard, you let it last. And you come back, and you got lupus. And you're like, oh, I want to get that $1 million policy again. No, you're not. You're not. You're not going to get that $1 million policy. Sorry, you're not going to qualify for that policy. You're not. You're not going to qualify for it. Not only that, you may qualify for a certain policy, but it's not going to be as much as you could have had if you was healthy. And it's going to be way higher. It's going to be way higher. It's going to be like, they're going to look at you like a disease. Oh, no, you're sick. We can't cover you, or we can cover you, but guess what? We're going to make you pay an arm and a leg for less coverage and more money. The other thing with letting the policy lapse, people die. This has happened to people that I am close with, where somebody that was listed on that policy died in that time frame that they let that policy lapse. I cannot stress how important it is to not let your policy lapse. Borrow the money or call your agent and lower the amount and say, times is hard. Just don't let it go over that 3 month mark because it's just not worth it. Especially if you're paying $30, $25 a month. Y'all can borrow $25. Like, let's be real. It's just that we, as females, like, our pride getting away. I don't want to ask my mom for no money. Or being irresponsible. I don't want to ask my father. He going to fuss me out. I don't want to ask my child. I don't want to ask. Because guess what? It can come to the point where as though somebody on that policy could be your child, could be your husband, could be your wife. They might pass away in that time frame. I've seen it happen to somebody I know personally. 3 different people I know personally. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to somebody's child. I've seen it happen to somebody's spouse. And I've seen it happen to the person. They let the policy lapse and they died. The person that was on it. The person that was the head of the family died. So just don't let your policy lapse. Borrow that money or lower the amount, but don't let it lapse. I've seen people during COVID. I had a client that gained weight, a lot of weight during COVID. She came back to get the same policy. They denied it. I said, oh, we're going to have to do you as 40 underwritten. You might have to pay a little bit more because you gained a lot of weight during COVID. She was like, well, they let me get the policy before, but you let it lapse. You let it lapse. There's nothing I can do about that. Once you let your policy lapse, you got to go with whatever stipulations they have for you. Now, granted, some people let their policy lapse and they fine. They can get their policy right back because they still healthy. But some of us aren't as healthy. Some of us are older. Some of us have health issues. Some of us done got locked up. Some of us done got all these DUIs. So just don't let the policy lapse. That's just all I can say. Yep. So just don't let your policy lapse. That's all I can say. That was a good one. Not letting your policy lapse. Because I'm telling you, any one of my family or friends that got a policy with me, let their policy lapse again, I'm going to knock them out because they can borrow the money from me. And y'all know that. I don't like saying that. Don't let your policy lapse. Y'all borrow the money from me. Well, I'm going to start tagging people in the face, in the lip, all that, busted, open, bleeding. Wide open. Busted, open, and bleeding. So get your life together. Let's get it together. Like I said, I made this podcast for us, for our people, to enlighten our people, to teach them a thing or two about insurance. I also made it for black businesses because after September, going into October, I will have black businesses owners on my podcast. You know, she will be one of them. I have a lot of friends that got businesses. I got her. I got Keisha. My sister Shay, she's an herbalist and a massage therapist. Shamari, Credit. My cousin girlfriend, she does her, she's a, what you call it?
Tracy.
Tracy does photography. My niece does photography. It's too many people. Herb, clothing line. Both the herbs. We got Be More Like Us. We got the Love Brand. We got I got so many people I know with businesses. I'm so excited for this part. Maisha has a non-profit, her story. Yeah, I'm going to get her on here to talk about her non-profit. I have a few friends that's realtors. I'm going to get them on here. It's so many. I'm just trying to throw something out there. It's so many people I know. Shay from Westport. She's a baker. And she's the bomb. Her cookies, the buttercrunch cookies. Listen. I will drive to Great Mile to go get some cookies. You know, Shaquana, the Bake Queen, she has her own business. I know a lot of people with their own businesses. So I will be reaching out to y'all personally and say, what month you think you can be on my podcast and write your names down with the date and everything? Because I'm going to get y'all on here. So it's not going to just be about life insurance. I'm being informing about the black community, where you can get this from, who got credit, who can help you buy a house, who can help you want some nice clothes, who got some clothes, who got the hookahs, you know?
Right here. Right here.
Who can clean your house real good, Keisha, you know? So I'm going to be getting everybody on here together at different times to shop them out. And some of these people been had their business going. I don't care if you're real successful, you still coming on here. If I know you, you coming on here. So I'm bringing different people on here.
Shamari baby on that next flight over.
That next flight, you heard her. Get that next flight over. So I'm going to be bringing people on here. I'm going to be talking about everything the black community needs. Like I said, finances, clothes, shoes,
DJs.
Yeah, we got the DJs, hookahs, the needs and the wants that we need in our community. I'm gonna have somebody come in here and talk about mental health. I'm gonna have somebody come in here and talk about abuse, sexually, mentally, everything. So I'm gonna have everything
and people that actually went through it.
That went through it, yeah. So I'm gonna have everything that it's gonna be educational all the way around. So it's not gonna be a born educational thing. We gonna have people. It's gonna be lit. You know, we got her on here with the hookah. Who's doing it? I'm be the first to say, yeah, I hit the podcast. My bestie was on here with her hookah. She texted me and said,
the next people that come on the podcast, I'm gonna be supplying the hookah.
Listen, she texted me and said, can I bring my hookah? I said, yeah, it's legal. You can go ahead. You can bring the hookah with you, girl.
Everywhere.
It's gonna help you be free. You know, because she was a little nervous. She said, what you gonna ask me? I said, I'm not telling you.
I sure did. Right before she pressed live, I said, what you gonna ask me? She said, I ain't telling you.
Our stories outreach. That's Maisha. Do a UCC. Feeling the next time you loan them some money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maisha dropped her information, y'all. So Maisha Harvey, she has her information on the line. So please be sure to check her out. Because I will have her and Nicole on here soon. Starting October, that's when I will have people coming on. So I'm starting with my people, my circle. You know, my family and my close friends. I'm starting with y'all first. Then I'll reach out to some other people and get them on here. But, you know, I got to start with them first. So, yeah, Maisha already dropped her info. Shamari, if you still on here, drop your info on there, too. Let me see who else on here that might have.
Oh, I forgot Crystal and her henna. She got henna.
And my daughter just was asking, ask her mommy when she got henna. I said her and Keisha go to the same person. Mm-hmm. So, Crystal with the henna, Keisha, if you're on here, drop your cleansing business at the bottom. And if you watch this, go back and drop your information. If any of my friends that's on here right now or was watching or go back and watch, please drop your business information on this live so I can go back and repost it or jot y'all down to come on this show. So yeah, that's it and that's all. Cause we, you know, both of us like to talk. Both of us loud. We go for hours.
I'm loud. I'm loud. I'm a little calm. I'm a little sober, but I'm loud.
Yeah, like so you know, we like to talk, but you know, we about to end this live soon. I thank y'all for coming. I thank my best friend for being transparent because she was nervous, y'all.
I was real nervous.
She kept asking me, so you're not gonna tell me what you gonna ask me? No.
She just said, if you feel uncomfortable, just change the subject. I said,
if you feel uncomfortable, just tell me to change the subject. I don't mind saying that on live. Tell me to change the subject. Treasure Jewels, okay. We got Treasure Jewels by Tish. Come on, keep them coming.
Drop them.
Keep on dropping them. So Leandra, if you still on here, put yours in there too. That's the paparazzi queen. Put yours in there too. So she was nervous
and she danced.
Oh yeah, and she's a spiritual dancer, one of the best out. Straight from God. Listen, some spiritual dancers you can't say that bye. You know, Shay, if you come back on this live, if you see this live, drop your info on there because she gives the best massages. Not only that. She's an herbalist. I think I got everything that she has. Tea, honey, everything. She has teas for people that's on their menstrual. She has teas for when you're sick with COVID. When my child had COVID, we all use shade tea. She has
teas when you're bloated.
Yeah, teas when you're bloated. And you gonna take a you know, she had all of that. That tea for when you bloated, girl.
That's why I said it.
Listen, cause I was at Danielle's house one time
and I blew it back.
She blew it back. Her battery up. So thank you, Shay, my sister, the Shay Miller.
Came down and said that she was a holy person.
I was like,
felt
oh
like
my
she
goodness.
In water.
I think I lost like 10 pounds from that T-shirt.
Yeah.
I had to call Shay while I was on the toilet. I was like, girl, what was in that tea? She was like, not while you were on the toilet. Yes, I was in the car. Because the tea was the bomb, and all of her stuff is all natural. Everything that she do is natural. Everything, even the massages. And she do have some stuff that's infused with CBD, y'all. It helps with my lupus. She gave me a massage last time, and it had CBD oil in it. And that was the best massage I had in a long time. So, I'd be going to her monthly. So, she had infused honey, infused teas. I use the honey when I make my tea. I use the infused stuff when I make my eggs. I put a little bit on there. Listen, you know, my body be going through with this liquid, so it's helpful and it's all natural, y'all. So yeah, who else done dropped something? Well, Maisha laughing. So yeah, so anybody that has their own business that may come back to this live, please just drop it in there. I will go back and look at it for the next week. I'll be looking to see if there's anybody different I need to add to my list. Because starting October, Maisha, I might be starting with you, so I hope you're listening. Because we need to get y'all out there. She has a non-profit, so I might start with Maisha in October, so be ready. I can't start with her because that's her birthday month. She's going to be partying too much.
And this starts October 1st.
Literally, October 1st. From October the 1st to the 30th, so we going to do her in November. She gonna be having too much going on. She's going to be partying like it's 1999.
Yeah. And
she's going to be dragging me along with her, so I gotta make sure the days that I have my people here that I'm good, I'm level-headed, and I'm clear-minded. So that's it. Thank y'all for coming.
Bye. See y'all later.
And tune in 2 more weeks for episode 6. This was episode 5. You can also catch this on YouTube. Oh, I gotta say this because they say I forget to say it every live. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Legacy Life Prep on YouTube, please, because I realize that YouTube is a little different. We're going live and all that. I gotta have all these subscribers and stuff.
Lovely Heartbeat CPR.
Oh yes, okay, got you.
Thanks, Shamari.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're still on here and you haven't already, my YouTube channel is Legacy Life Prep. This will be on there later. I just did it live on Facebook. It will also be on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts. But most importantly, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Legacy Life Prep, and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell everybody. Go subscribe to Legacy Life Prep on YouTube. See y'all later.
See y'all later.